Hello everyone, I'm Max, and today I'm here to maximize your fear. Brand new Bigfoot footage that's shocking the world. Today we take a look at new Bigfoot footage and sightings coming from Canada, Indiana, and many other places with very convincing evidence. From HD Sasquatch trail camera videos to Bigfoot hunting clips and so much more. So grab your I Found Bigfoot coffee mugs and allow your fear to be maximized as we recap the best Bigfoot clips of all time. This new Sasquatch game cam footage is taking the internet by storm right now. It was taken on November 2nd, 2024 at 3:27 a.m. It happened in a secluded section of woods in Connersville, Indiana. The shots were submitted to Bigfoot investigative group Rocky Mountain Sasquatch by a man named Josh Benker. He states, quote, "I went to check the trail cameras this morning and I think I caught a freaking Sasquatch. The neighbors said they've been hearing strange and unexplainable screeching noises at night coming from the forest. I mean, I thought it was just some deer outside making the dogs bark all night or something. Well, I guess no more going into the woods without my .45, end quote. Josh's trail camera here takes short and quick bursts of photos whenever motion and heat is detected in frame. And that's exactly what happened here. As soon as this large bipedal creature stepped foot into frame, it took these 4 photos. The second capture is one of the most compelling in my opinion. Look at the way its arms are spread out and the way it's running by. It's a very distinct and strange gait. A human wouldn't move like this. And even though the camera isn't exactly HD quality, we can still see this thing pretty good. It has the characteristic Sasquatch build, the wide, strong body structure, the round head, the long arms, and thick legs. And it's also covered in long and dense fur or hair. Josh also includes photos of what the surrounding area looks like during the day to give us a better understanding of the area itself. According to RMSO, a researcher named Jeff Adams has evidence of some very defined Bigfoot tracks in the exact area as well. Southeast Indiana. Here are those prints in the mud. They measure approximately 6 inches in width, much wider than the average human print. And the toes and everything else are very defined. It looks very realistic. Along with this, Jeff and his family claimed they saw the creature with their own eyes, not far from where the prints were cast, reporting it to be a tall, dark, hairy humanoid, a creature they believe is indeed Bigfoot. So what do you guys think about this one? Do Bigfoots roam in Southeast Indiana? It seems as if they do. Let's take a look at some brand new found footage of the infamous Bigfoot. This footage was originally taken in the late 1970s, but was just released on November 19th, 2024. It was recorded in Honey Island, Louisiana, by a wildlife researcher by the name of Harlan Ford. Because it was in the 70s, cameras were rare, and though they existed, they weren't the greatest. The camera Mr. Ford was using this day was known as the 8mm camera. As he was boating through the marsh, a tall, dark, Bigfoot-like creature was spotted about 100 yards away from him. It walks between the trees, and we get a decent look at it. Zooming in, it's covered in black fur, and it's bipedal and ape-like. However, some scientists estimate its height at 8 feet tall and its weight up to 500 pounds. Apes do not even get near 8 feet tall. Not only this, but obviously no apes or monkeys live in Louisiana, so it's completely improbable. Harlan's granddaughter, Dana Holyfield, uncovered this footage and was the one who decided to share it with the world. Take a listen to what she says.
It wasn't until I got older and grew up that my grandmother would come out with this big box, all his wildlife photography. And that's when we saw this 8mm film. He actually probably got closer than what any of us really knew.
YouTube channel History states, although reports of the creature gained attention in the 1960s, indigenous folklore dating back centuries tells of a terrifying entity lurking in the swamp. This monstrous being is said to overturn unsuspecting boats and pull its victims beneath the water to devour their flesh. Field researcher Cliff Barrickman also states that the swamps and marshes are perfect habitats for Bigfoots. He states that swamp in particular is over 70,000 acres, and a vast majority of it is protected by the government. He says this sighting could only be one of two things, a real Bigfoot or a person pretending to be a Bigfoot. And this was in the 70s, when social media wasn't a thing, and you couldn't really fake things to go viral or to become famous. So what would be the goal of faking this? Other professional wildlife scientists rule out the possibility of it being a black bear, because the way it walks is so effortless and human-like. Definitely one of the most compelling and interesting pieces of Bigfoot evidence out there, evidence that may prove the existence of the Bigfoot. Now here is another Bigfoot video that's just surfacing from many years ago. It was highlighted on July 28, 2024, but was originally captured in 2001 in a nature documentary. Yes, you heard me right. A real, unedited nature documentary from the early 2000s. People have been trying to explain this footage for years, but nobody can. The footage shows a herd of caribou running alongside the shore of a river in the far north side of Quebec, Canada. But then this is seen in the background. A mysterious dark figure trying to duck down and hide beneath the brush. This footage comes specifically from the nature documentary called Great North. The goal of the film was to show the nature and landscape of the Arctic and long-standing Inuit traditions. But just look at this strange creature. It's strangely dark and looks to be covered in fur. Some even see two figures at one moment. Skeptics immediately tried to debunk the footage by saying that a crew member accidentally walked into the shot. But one of the cinematographers on the film who was there when this was filmed, named William Reeves, attests and says this 100% was not the case. Also, reportedly, the area is extremely vast and remote, and the crew had to be flown in by helicopter just to get there. So there's absolutely no way there would be another human out there. So this couldn't have just been a hiker or explorer or something. All of this being said, what the heck could it be? Is it really a Bigfoot that lives out there in the extremely remote and unkempt area? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. This here is a controversial Bigfoot photo. It was highlighted via Instagram right at the beginning of the year. Like a lot of Bigfoot evidence, not much is known about this one, leaving people confused. But the photo itself is very clear in HD, so I knew I needed to include it in this video. Take a look. The picture showcases a light brown furred sasquatch. And we truly can see pretty much every single detail here. From its defined forehead wrinkles to its dark eyes and small nose and human-like mouth slightly opened. Taking a look at the creature's hand, it's hairless and human-like as well. But they look much bigger. You can even see the hair receding in its chest area, slightly exposing its pectoral muscles and skin. Its hair is also flush to its body, revealing a muscular, wide figure. Now this one is interesting here. And I say it's controversial because the consensus is pretty split between skeptics and believers. Skeptics state that this was simply just a Jackling-style costume, whereas believers suggest it's way too realistic to be a prop or costume. This being said, I'll let you be the judge of this one. Do you side with skeptics or believers here? This interesting Bigfoot evidence comes from Vancouver Island. A witness spotted these abnormally large and strange footprints. Word began to spread, drawing in cryptid researchers and even scientists. Watch as they measure the footprints, take a footprint cast, and fail to replicate the strides of the prints.
There's 4 feet right there.
The strides are each 4 to 6 feet apart, which is an incredible leap if you think about it. Biologist and Sasquatch researcher John Bindernagel covers this case. Take a listen to what he has to say.
Photographed them, filmed them, actually followed the trail in the snow. The Sasquatch apparently stepped onto some ground soft enough for him to make a partial cast. The eyewitness descriptions, eyewitness drawings, tracks and track photographs are very important to me, very compelling.
He has many different supposed Bigfoot footprint casts that he believes are the real deal. Now adding these ones from Vancouver Island to his collection. But let's take a closer look at the prints in question. They're extremely wide and long, way longer than any human or animal on this planet. You can even see the heel prints and large toes embedded in the deep snow. For reference, here are their human footprints in their big snow boots beside. And then these are the Bigfoot prints here, definitely a huge size difference. Vancouver Island is located off of Canada's Pacific coast. And not only is Vancouver Island considered to be a Bigfoot hotspot, but Canada is as well. I've covered so many sightings from these areas. I think probably the area I cover most, in fact. So definitely some very interesting evidence. The following footage comes from the northern region of Chile. According to local legends, the caves in this area are believed to be layers of hidden alien shapeshifters. These beings are said to possess the ability to transform into dogs, allowing them to roam the nearby beaches and search for food and anything else they may need without raising any suspicion. However, once they retreat to their place of hiding, they reportedly revert to their true forms, revealing unearthly creatures like what is seen in the following video. In the footage, the creature appears as a large goat-like being with massive horns that curve backwards. A completely otherworldly and terrifying look. It's also equipped with long arms tipped with sharp claws. Its arms seem to stretch all the way down to its feet almost. For a fleeting moment, the creature's face is visible, almost resembling a dragon or at least some otherworldly reptilian being. But it's also goat-like at the same time. It looks to have sharp, jagged teeth in its mouth. Its eyes seem to glow eerily, adding to its menacing appearance. Many believe these alien entities have remained undetected for so long due to the remote, seldom visited nature of their habitat. Some, however, believe this is evidence of a creature called the Goat Man, infamous in lore from North America. The Goat Man is described as a half-goat, half-man hybrid. It has a strong humanoid body and a horned goat-like head, similar to the creature in this video. The creature is often linked to eerie, isolated areas, just like this area in Chile. So what do you think? Goat Man or alien shapeshifter? Or is it neither of the two? This video comes from a man named David who lives in Ireland. He had a very unexplainable encounter in the woods near his house, and later posted it to his Facebook page, Dark51. David walks around the woods and takes videos of wildlife pretty often, but this time was different. At first, he can't tell what he's seeing, so he gets a closer look. And suddenly, the dark being hides and somehow vanishes behind a skinny tree. The tree is way smaller than the creature itself, so how is this possible? This led David and many commenters to believe that it was something paranormal. Because this was taken in Ireland, people began to draw connections to the creature called the Banshee. According to Slapped Ham, the infamous creature called the Banshee comes from Irish mythology. It's reportedly a dark spirit that lurks around the country, specifically in woodlands, and it apparently hunts and kills humans. And could that be what David caught on camera here? If so, he's lucky to be alive. So this segment here is a little different than my usual clips. It's a first-hand account, retold as a story from the Thompson family, who reportedly had an encounter with Bigfoot last Christmas. And since it is almost Christmas, I figured this would fit in the video perfectly. So sit back and enjoy, and let me know if you want any more stories like this. Let's get into it. The Thompson family lived on the edge of a dense forest in rural Washington state. Their cozy home, adorned with Christmas lights and a wreath on the front door, overlooked an expanse of snow-covered trees. It was Christmas Day. And the family, Tom, his wife Sarah, and their 8-year-old daughter Ellie were enjoying the morning together. As the sun rose, Ellie was eager to show off her new sled. "Can we go outside and try it, please?" she begged. After some persuasion, Tom agreed. Bundled up in their coats and boots, the family stepped into the crisp winter air and made their way down the gentle slope behind their house. They made it there and Ellie began sledding. Ellie was laughing as she sped down the hill, Sarah cheering her on. But as Tom glanced towards the edge of the forest, he stopped cold. About 50 yards away, standing there just beyond the tree line, was a massive figure. "Sarah," Tom said quietly, motioning for her to look. Sarah followed his gaze and gasped. The figure was covered in dark, shaggy hair, easily standing over 7 feet tall. Its broad shoulders and long arms made it look out of place amongst the trees. It wasn't moving, just watching them silently. "Tom, what is that?" Sarah whispered, pulling Ellie closer as the child climbed back up the hill. Tom's mind raced. It wasn't a bear. Its posture was too upright. And it obviously wasn't a person either. Its sheer size ruled that out. He instinctively put himself between the creature and his family. Suddenly, the figure took a slow step backwards, blending further into the trees. Then another step. Within moments, it disappeared entirely into the forest, leaving nothing but the faint sound of crunching snow. "Let's go inside," Tom said firmly, taking Ellie's hand. The family hurried back into the house, locking the doors and peeking out the windows. "What do you think it was?" Sarah asked, her voice shaky. Tom hesitated. "I don't know, but it wasn't something I want to run into again." For the rest of the day, they couldn't shake the feeling that they weren't as alone in the wilderness as they thought. Though they tried to focus on Christmas cheer, they couldn't. The sighting became a story they would share among themselves for years to come. A story they didn't want to speak out about but finally have. Certainly a Christmas to remember. Alright, I think that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did enjoy, go ahead and smash the like buttons, mom. Let's aim for 5,000 likes for another one of these Bigfoot videos. And if you want to get to know me more, you want to see more of my spooky content, you can go ahead and follow me on Instagram, Maxwell Fear. You can go ahead and follow me on TikTok, Maximum Fear YT. And be sure to subscribe to the channel because only 20% of you guys who watch my videos are subscribed. And be sure to hit that bell as well so you don't miss when I upload. And also feel free to check out my special Maximum Fear merchandise and coffee mugs. They're in the description down below. And they're perfect for this Christmas and holiday season. And shout out to my second channel, More Maximum Fear, where I post other scary content that you guys would definitely love. Alright, I hope your fear was maximized. Merry Christmas and thank you all so much for watching. And I'll see you in the next one.